Okay, we're live. Excellent, perfect, awesome. I am joined once again by the same two people who always seem to want to join me, Cathy and AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's mainly Cathy. I am just the hype. Cathy's a co-host. I'm the hype.
That's actually like somewhat true because Cathy obviously helps me make the files, like sees all the artwork and the spoils, and like helps me map out what we're going to talk about.
You make the files. I make the whole.
I want this on record for everyone on YouTube and stuff. I don't know that I'm co-hosting a stream until after Ken has posted when the stream is.
That happened once, ever. Ever. No, it didn't. Okay. But no, AJ is left entirely in the dark to get like kind of like first impressions and have a little bit of a voice to the community, I guess, just for seeing what when we're doing something new.
You put me in charge of your community voice.
I mean, for now it seems you're the what's the word I'm thinking about, the acting community manager until we actually have a position to be filled. You're just.
And then I'll just fill in.
Sometimes you run unopposed against yourself and you actually get the spot. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we're going to do another kind of mixed bag stream tonight. We've got a couple new arts that are like insane. I'm so hyped about both of these. Some card templating things to show. We've got how many new pips?
We have three pips. I don't know why we're calling them pips. I don't know
That's what they are.
That's what they're called. That's just the word.
Faction symbols.
Yeah.
We have three that we're pretty sure are finished.
Okay. Right, because one of them is a slight redo from last week, right?
Yeah, we just changed it a little.
Okay, and then the other two are pretty fresh. Okay, so we're going to show some pips, and then we actually got some pretty good mock-ups back on some card backs for some stuff to talk with the community about and start weighing in on what we want to see. But I'm going to go ahead and...
I just wanted to say last week was special because we showed our first epic,
True.
which was the Great Oak.
True.
And this week is special because it is our first non-green card.
True.
Oh.
Ooh.
Even though one of them is technically half green.
But these cards are not just Earth Faction.
Yeah,
Get into a little bit of the Water Faction today.
that's true.
Let's see the first one.
And to even piggyback off that sentiment a little bit more, we're going to see our first multicolor card tonight too, right? Okay. Pop it up the slideshow. Here's our little landing screen. I'm going to go ahead and click. I'm going to jump right in. Is it just art? Is it art first?
Yeah.
Okay, click.
Dude.
So
Dude.
here's a card.
Dude.
Andrew says that's so clean.
Can't not, yeah.
I didn't fully understand the setting that this character was in until Ken explained it to me. And it actually helped me understand it.
Dude, he's fish hunting.
He's kind of fish hunting, even though he's not fish hunting. Yeah. Yeah. So this is important to, and
He hates bubbles.
we're going to give a little bit of background on this guy during, like right now, just so we can put him into perspective a little bit, because this art killed it. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Not only is the character awesome, the action is awesome, the like positioning, the lighting is awesome, but the setting is perfect, okay? And the reason that the setting is so good, and this is the bit of the story that you guys might not necessarily know, the Unseen City is the shrine for the Water faction. We're gonna do a little quick brush up on some lore here, okay? The Unseen City is the shrine in set 1 for the Water faction, and the Unseen City itself is kind of like built into the coastline, but technically like it's underwater. Okay, it's like it's in the side of the land that would come up from like the ocean surface, like underneath the ocean floor basically. And as that slopes upward and comes up to the coastline, the Unseen City is actually kind of submerged there, and it's built like right into the wall, like the rock and everything, right? And one of the ways that you can access the Unseen City, because the Water faction has like mastered sort of like this merger of like magic and science, and they understand air pressure, and they do all this like really important calculating and constructing and stuff, is that the you could be in the water and like swim kind of like down and then up and into the Unseen City. Like there are lower levels of the city that have these like pools of water that you can actually enter the city like from below, right? So this guy is standing here guarding one of those pools of water. Like this is, of course, Underwater Spearman. I'm going to go ahead and click one more time so we can see the card.
Underwater Spearman?
This is Underwater Spearman.
Yo!
he is underwater, even though he's clearly, not underwater. He's in a room. But the idea being that the entire city's underwater, so he's doing his job to kind of guard that particular portal.
Which is why you can see just the shadow of like a swimmer's head that's coming up through the portal, and he's about to stand that bitch.
Whoa, Cathy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is family friendly stream.
That's
But you said it though? Did you say it though?
Did
you say it though?
I said it.
So this is a new artist also, in addition to being the first water card. We haven't seen any art from Untung yet. I love it.
Untung forever. Can you go back previous one? I want to see this better picture of the head that Cathy was just saying. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There yet.
Oh. I totally missed this. I was too busy looking at just the Spearman.
Just the lad just squared up, like
Yes.
ready to. Can somebody ping Jake? Has anybody pinged Griffin yet? Oh no, Cathy did. Okay, yeah, I see it there.
Oh.
So yeah,
This is so sick.
this came out so freaking good. The coloring is just great. The setting is great. Like the whole.
That card. Look at that card. And I don't know why, but when you put the template on it, it just looks so legit. The other ones also do, but I don't know. This one stood up to me. I was like, now that's a game I want to play.
With the fire essence, it looks like he's shimmying to the right to avoid the fire.
Oh, that's true.
He's like slide to the right.
Yeet.
So
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you a question. We chose fire essence intentionally. He's waterbound, so in reality, people probably won't be playing essence combat on him. But we had decided that since, like, so you see how essence of combat.
Oh, we added a new symbol.
Yeah. See how essence of combat
Oh!
has the like fire pit. We
Yeah.
had decided that just having the image of the fire symbol there wasn't enough because you need to know that his identity also is now red. So now each base card will have like the circle for whatever color they are, but the essence is also going to have the circle if it changes like the card's identity. So it like slides over and changes the color of the circle. So now someone will say, oh, this is a blue and red creature now. Does that make sense?
What would you do on the on say a blue card with a red green essence on it?
So
Fire.
red green essences don't
Would
change.
it have the slash or no? Oh,
It doesn't have anything. They don't change color identity. You have to actually add to the cost to change color identity.
Yeah, there
Right.
won't
Yep.
be anything there on like.
Oh, I see. This is the extra.
This is actual essence of combat, like add a
So the-
fire.
the
Yeah.
color- yeah. So the colorless will also be where that fire pit is.
Right, but it
There.
won't have a colored circle. It'll just say one, and that way you'll still see the blue come through from behind.
Can we make that a little smaller? It just seems like it eats into the actual mana cost a little bit.
I think we could make it a little smaller. I think it's fine though.
Yeah,
I think both are fine.
We could make
I could see not even necessarily making it smaller, but the drop shadow is maybe just
a
in
little
the
smaller,
in the
yes.
words a little
Yeah.
bit too much. I could see
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or even just
Because I
making
think-
the
I
drop
think-
shadow like crescent shaped and just putting it predominantly toward the bottom half of the circle or something, rather than all the way around. Maybe we could play with that. That's a good point.
Because like I think if you put that water essence where the one is, I think it eats into that water essence for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely see making that circle.
So if you look at the top, Spencer, so you see underwater Spearman, and then there's a gap, and then it has a 1 and a water symbol, and underneath it says Essence of Combat, and there's that fire symbol at the end. We're talking about the shadow around the fire symbol that's like going up into that top border.
It's on
It's,
both
like, getting
versions
close.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like getting close to like the mana value of
Yeah.
the top card or the top line.
I mean, it is layered in such a way that the one, at least on the left version, is literally printed on
It's
top
fire.
of the shadow, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
I think when you add the fire and like with all the other colors like added into it, I think it just like
Nice.
Spencer's so
Nice.
fast with these in the chat.
It's brilliant.
yeah.
And then we also have the new fire symbol
Yeah,
on the
and the-
side where it says resource zone tap to make fire.
With the 90 degrees arrow.
Yeah, Cathy also forgot a colon. We're not gonna judge her too harshly for that, but
That's not the final.
this will probably be the last time that happens.
Yeah, this card just looks.
It looks sweet.
It came out like the whole thing all together is just
His whole hands like in front of the boxes, just getting that real deep 3D.
Well, like
overused.
his form is good too. Like leading with your left hand to throw a spear. Like there's so many arts in other games where they try to have like an action thing, but like their left arm's just like on their hip, like
Yeah.
casually stabbing. Like this art is like this guy means business.
The
when he's,
model
like-
spear fisherman is just
Yeah.
like posing.
yeah. He's like this is how it's like he's teaching the class. He's like this is how you do it, kids.
Yeah.
You gotta aim with your left hand and use the whole force of your right hand and swing it in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, super pleased with this all around. Awesome to work with this artist. He was pretty quick on it, honestly. I've only been dealing with this guy for a couple of weeks. I would say total time was less than 2 weeks. I think turnaround on this. I did not think we were going to get this one this quick.
In fact, when we had originally scheduled the stream, it wasn't even for this artwork.
It was not for this artwork. That's true. This just showed up, and it's a really nice bonus. I mean, I think Cathy kind of hit the nail on the head. When you look at this left version and you're putting yourself in the position to be, okay, I'm cracking booster packs. I just opened my cardboard card Underwater Spearman, essence aside.
This is just a common?
That's a common.
Oh my
And you
God,
pull this out of the
big
pack
common.
and you're just like, oh man, yes. Like, I cannot wait to sleeve this up and put it in a deck. Like, it's just going to be so
This
good.
makes commons exciting.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Because like commons in like other games are like boring art. They're like, let's just put a squiggly line in the center of the art.
You seem to forget that Earth's Elite, the very first card that we ever spoiled, was a common also.
It was.
Yeah.
I do forget rarity until I actually have the card in front of me.
Right.
And I can see the thing at the bottom.
Very fair. Cathy was filling out the template for this one this afternoon, and I'm like, oh, I got you, girl. I can tell you whatever the stats are. She's like, all right, speed, power, HP, and I'm like rattling it off. Then she's like, set number, and I'm like, oh, hang on, I gotta go look. I don't actually have them memorized in numerical order yet, or ever really plan to. But yeah, awesome job. Yeah, huge shout out to Untung. Like he killed this. I am beyond excited for Underwater Spearman to have joined the ranks of ready to be played cards. Okay, we're gonna click. Is there art right behind this?
There's art ready to go. AJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Is Jake here?
No, Jake never even hopped on for this.
Oh, I need Jake to be here for this.
Silly work.
I'm gonna give Jake like 30
Oh, is
seconds
this not-
before I click.
Is this not? Oh, this got to be the hybrid then.
This is yeah. I'm gonna give Jake 30 seconds to show up. If he doesn't show up in 30 seconds, he misses the grand reveal. But this is.
Wait 30 seconds.
Oh, you don't want to wait 30 seconds?
No, just click and you'll see it.
Okay, I'll wait 5 more seconds.
10 more seconds.
2, 12. Oh, we made it.
Man, she cheated. Yes. This is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. When
Okay.
I saw the sketch for this is not what I expected.
I did not realize you've seen the sketch for this.
Yes.
Okay.
It showed me very early.
Very early. Okay.
Yeah. Like when you first got the sketch.
Yeah. So we made a couple adjustments. I had some creative inputs on this one to get it to where it is. It took a long time ish.
You've had this for a while.
Greatness at any cost, right? I think this is my friend Bob Marr said that once. But there it is. Just this card is such a massive part of the water earth kind of concept. This ties together a bunch of the lore. This ties together a bunch of the flavor of the two colors inside of the mechanics. This is like such a huge card to be able to bring to the kind of demo decks and just have this in here. I'm gonna click in so we can talk about the actual.
It's Life Cycle Warden.
Go back though. Oh.
What I wanted to mention is kind of covered up.
Okay, go for it, Cathy.
So yeah, we just saw it's Life Cycle Warden, and so this character is a green Earth faction character that he was born into the Earth faction.
Yeah.
He has since learned the ways of the Water faction. He's like, I feel like we could learn something from the Water tribe and maybe incorporate it in Earth. And so that's what he's doing in the art, is taking the water magic, and it's literally going straight from the water into the tree, and then you can see the magic is like growing the tree in the background. And I just think that is so dope. He did such a good job.
I love the color change in his wardrobe too.
Right.
Like he's wearing like a blue like normal coat with the accents of the.
Yeah. He's willing to represent both halves of the person that he's becoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's awesome.
I also like that the metal armor on his shoulders and it looks like the cape too are very, very similar to Earth's Elite.
Yes,
So
yes.
it really ties in that they're like from the same
Yep.
unit. You know?
I mean, that was very intentional. Obviously, when I was speaking with the artist, one of the big things I had to keep hammering home because, and I think that the sketch that you would have seen early on, AJ, was much more like,
No, it wasn't so much like the person was kind of like somewhat drawn in, but like all these accent lines and stuff like that.
Right.
I saw for all this stuff was like the base idea for it.
Yeah. So one of the big things was like as we were progressing down the concept for this art is the artist, and this is Robert Nix again, same as Earth's Elite.
Yep.
The artist was doing like a really good job of like capturing the water half of it and like getting the magic in there and like the lines and like just obviously the posture. I mean, he's obviously sitting here, you know, working on his craft. Like you can tell everything that's going on. And I was like, listen, you know, this is great. And like every time he would send me a new sketch or a new update on the line drawing or whatever, I'm just like, okay, listen, you are crushing it for half of this card, but you have got to keep in mind that this guy is a knight first. He is like on mission from the Earth Tribe. And yes, he's learning about this stuff. He, you know, all that you're doing, all this awesome representation that you're doing is perfect. But we got to get some armor in there. We got to get, you know, he needs to look a little bit more like a knight, you know, a knight first. Like that is his primary thing. And then I'll go ahead and go forward to the card because he is a knight. I mean, look at the stat line. This guy's enormous. He can't just be like, you know, sitting around doing magic. No, this guy is about, you know, getting in there too. So we mocked this one up with what do we got on here? This is Thriving Essence on the right hand side. Left hand side is obviously just the card. You know, this would be the cardboard card by itself on the left. On the right, we've got an essence on there. I mean, yeah, I am so happy with both of these arts today. Like this just looks so good. To Cathy's point, there is a little bit of the art lost once you put the essence on top. You know, it kind of, you lose a little bit of the perspective of what's going on. But that's the kind of cool thing about this is from the collector side of things, or the person who does just want to sit around and look at how cool the artwork is on their cards, you still have the card. You can still just look at it. You know what I mean? You don't have to always have an essence on it. So
I had two things I wanted to mention about like the temple theme side of things. So the first is just pointing out there's that circle again. So we just chose this essence because it's an example of adding one to the cost without changing the card's identity. So it's just using the circle that was already there. And then the other thing was, if 10, after I say this, you're going to have to go back to Underwater Spearman for
Sure.
a second. But AJ, take a look at where it says unit human knight and appreciate how large that text is. And then 10's going to go back to Underwater Spearman. We made it smaller. What do you think?
I like smaller.
You don't think it's hard to read?
No.
I agree.
And I have bad eyesight.
I think this one is way better.
yeah, it's been one of my.
I think it just allows more for the art.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, we have so much cool art that like, if we can get by with changing something from 16 font to like 14 font or 12 font,
I mean,
or whatever.
These are all like 8s and 6s and stuff on these cards, but yeah.
I threw random numbers in. Right?
Sure.
Well, that's why we're so hesitant to make it smaller, because that smaller one is a 6-point font. That's pretty tiny.
Well, you got a ton of people in the community that wear glasses.
True.
And it's
So-
people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! At 4-point font.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very true.
You know, I would make them your test subject. Maybe like there's something in between these two. Like if it is 8 versus 6, like maybe 7 is like perfect. Yeah.
Actually, it's weird. 7 and 8 are so similar.
They really are.
6 just like drops
6 it
off.
changes. Yeah.
Well, so doesn't 6 make sense? You know, everything in 6 isn't flawed, right?
Oh.
Right. Thematically, it makes sense.
There's actually,
It makes sense.
on Cathy's point, I think, are these card titles the same size?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think they're both 8s.
Those might both be 8s, yeah.
They're both
And Essence of Combat is both
I
a
think the
7,
coloring just like
and then so it's literally 8, 7, 6, like in descending order right there, isn't
oh,
it?
perfect.
Essence of
Yeah, it makes it
Combat
even more.
might
No
I don't know, it looks
way.
smaller.
Look at that O compared to like the E right above it. They should be about the same size. Like on of?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they're the same.
You're right.
Yeah.
The E's are different.
Yeah.
8, 7, 6. Boom, boom, boom.
It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
Second
not 8, 7, 8. That doesn't make sense.
no, it doesn't, as you can see by this card right here. Yeah, that was always actually one of my biggest gripes with the layout of the card is like, where can we fit the like type line? Because it's really important, but I also need it out of the way of the rules text. So
I think it makes sense to put it there, right? So you
it
get
does.
everything,
Yeah.
Like the basic necessities out of the way. Like you need to
Yep.
see the name, you need to see the essence name, and boom, it's a unit, and this is what it type is. And then
Yeah.
from there on, it's all the extra of
That's-
like, what the card truly is.
the entire
So
center
I
is all
really
rules
like it
text.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
I-
rules
I-
text, the card art, or their
Yep.
you know, their stat line or what the essence does. So I like it up there. I think it fits.
Yeah. We also trimmed down. This is actually something that you've probably not seen yet, AJ, on the right hand side for the essence. The text over there. It comes into play tap duel, right?
Yep.
So on the like working versions we have right now, it literally says like this card enters the resource zone exhausted or something. It's like an entire sentence, right? And Cathy and I were trying to figure out like how to crunch that down, and like there's no reason to have that much of a phrase over there. So like, what was our like intermediary step? Like, what did we get it down to?
I mean, originally we just had it typed like that, but we had it on 2 lines and shrank it down to like 6-point font. And then you were like, wait, we don't need to have like this card, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You were like, let's just use the fact that it has the resource card on it. If it's in the resource zone. Oh, that's what it said. It was like, if this is placed in the resource zone, it enters exhausted or something.
We cut it down a couple different times. Somewhere in between, I feel like we had like this card enters exhausted or something. Like we got it that low, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's a resource zone ability. Like why can't we just make it plain as day? Like resource zone : enters exhausted. Like that is just as simplified as it comes. Obviously doesn't, the big issue is if you put a lot of words on the right hand side over there, you're distracting from like the kind of the card as a whole, right? So you want to minimalize that. What do you think that is? Does that communicate enough to you? Is that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm more looking at the second line. I think that enters exhausted makes sense.
Okay.
The second line I have questions for.
Go ahead.
So you have constantly used a colon or a semicolon to break apart if it's on the stack, combat zone, or resource zone to the rest of the text on the card.
Correct.
Why use it after the tap symbol?
All activated abilities also have colons.
Okay, I guess I just haven't seen it.
Yeah. They're
okay.
paying the cost is tab. Yeah.
Yeah. I remembered that then. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why that was. Can we do something else, like maybe change up the symbol?
I mean, you'll notice. Oh God, every time.
If anything, you would take away the colon next to the R in the resource zone.
You can see on this one, Cathy left the colon out, and I don't like this. I think that this is.
What if it's like a comma?
I mean,
Without the colon, it looks like you have to pay a file to do something.
What if it's a semicolon?
Yeah.
Does a semicolon make sense for a list?
No.
No.
Not necessarily. No.
Works.
No.
I'm ready to go to the next thing as well.
Oh, you're ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, she's
already tired of Life Cycle Warden.
We're on Cathy's schedule.
I know. Oh, well, we do have to get to bed early. So we got a big day tomorrow, so it's kind of not surprising.
What the heck is that?
Super, super, super quick side note. We went to BJJ today, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Cathy and I were leaving class, and the coach was like, all right, see you tomorrow. We're just both like, nah, no chance.
Tomorrow's a big day. And he's like, yeah, the biggest day here at Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I love BJ.
All right. Next is, I'm just going to click. Boom. We've already seen 2 of these on the Underwater Spearman.
Yep.
What are you saying, babe? So yeah, we already saw.
Here. I am excited. I like these better than what we were looking at last week, or at least for the water side.
Okay.
This looks good. I like this a lot. It's kind of like an inverted of like what they normally do, where it's like in the center. It's like a reverse
Jeez,
out of
Jake,
the
what
water
did I miss? Can I flip back for him for like 2 seconds, guys?
No.
I don't care. Flip it
We're on
back.
pips. Oh.
Here's your first start. Griffin.
Give us a thumbs up in chat if you can see it. What did he just say? What did I miss? Then leave again. Who is this?
Life Cycle Warden. He's typing. Alright, tell me that one.
Really quick while we got you here, this is Life Cycle Warden. Cathy already gave the pitch, but the idea is that he's like pulling the water magic up to like regrow the trees. Just an insane execution of this character. The concept here is so strong. And then, you ready for another one?
This is gonna be the most awkward stream to watch.
Bro, that's not. Oh, I know. It's going every which way.
Bro,
This is your lad. This is actually Andrew's like card. This is one of the cards that Andrew's been playing since the word go. He's had this guy in his very first deck and just never looked back.
And then we nerfed it.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a nerf.
How much did that outrun? I'm not saying that. You and I could talk about it in private if you really, really want to talk. But yeah, we're not going to throw everybody's business out there. Yes, thank you, Patreon. Could not do this by myself. That is always a given. But yeah, both of these came out so insane. I'm actually so happy because Andrew's honestly he's been here supporting and everything, and it's just been Earth card. Andrew and Jake are my two brothers for anybody who's watching at home. And it's just been Earth card. Jake's obviously been just getting all of his sweet stuff, and now Andrew's finally like, oh look, a card that I've played before. How sweet. If the commons are this crazy, I'm literally not ready for the epic arts. Yeah, true. I'm not spoiling anything, but yeah, pips. So yeah, I mean, AJ kind of hit the nail on the head right away, just seeing it. I mean, I kind of pitched this idea to Cathy. I'm like, what if we did a little bit more of like a conceptualized idea of like what each of the pips should represent? Like make it a little bit more abstract, a little bit more artistic, but try to keep it still like kind of solid enough that it makes sense that it's a symbol, Yeah. And I think these three came out great. I'm particularly in love with the water one because it's God no. As we saw last week, it is so difficult to come up with something to represent water that just isn't automatically like, oh well, yeah, it's the thing that everybody has everywhere. The water drop, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can't come up with anything by myself.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the splits on the flame of the drop. Looks good, plus consistent. Yeah.
I like the flame one. To me, it looks like a profile of like a helmet.
It kind of does.
Like the slit would be like where your eye goes.
Faceless helm. Jake's a fan.
That reminded me of Battlefield Headsman, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ooh, everybody likes that guy. Actually,
I am still considering that the 3-leaf earth symbol is gonna be the one.
I don't know.
Making a tree, yo.
This is one of the things that we actually wanted to kind of bounce off the community tonight with the stream is, okay, we've got these three. We've got a bit of an idea for how we're going to execute light to keep it kind of consistent within the concept we're going for here. But then Earth and Dark, Cathy and I are butting heads on it a little bit because like for Earth, she's like, no, I love this 3-leaf thing that I got going on over here. This is like really, really good.
Great.
And I'm just like, I don't know that it really fits into the like design that we're going for with these other three. I feel like it's going to look a little bit out of place with like as full of detail as is required to like execute 3 leaves. You know what I mean? Jake says, seeing these, I must have them all be just 2 shapes.
Well, that's just a coincidence, though.
It like isn't though. This has very much been my thinking on it.
2 leaves. And then you
Abstract tree.
Abstract tree. This actually comes to a bigger question. Like Earth aside, I think that we have options for like how we can execute Earth like this because
We already know what we're doing for light.
we know what we're doing for light. Like we've got kind of like a beamy little design that we're going to work on and like try to kind of keep it consistent with this. Regardless of exactly what we choose for Earth, whether it's a leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, grass, a tree, whatever, we've got a lot of options that are like literal physical things that we can kind of stylize and make match. Dark is just like the most annoying thing to try to draw.
Everyone on planet Earth does a spiral.
Do a waning gibbous.
Yeah.
That's just gonna look like a blob.
Not if you do it right.
Wait, waning is wax.
3/4.
Yeah.
3/4 with the shadow on the right.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like a blob. It doesn't matter. It's how they're going.
True.
Nah.
The real thing is that like moon is overdone and is like lame. It's not going to look good next to the rest of these. And it's like it's just so hard to come up with like, wait, the water isn't a moon? No. I guess I could see his point. It does look like a moon. Joke. Yeah. Wait, you guys are getting symbols? But yeah, I mean, do a poison bottle, just like with like X's on the eyes and like a little image.
No, that's not 2 shapes.
Yeah.
Well, the poison bottle is the bottle and then the liquid. 2 shapes.
Oh, the cork. Yeah, the cork pulled out.
No, you don't need the cork. We're dark. We don't cork things.
That's a strange way to live. But yeah, I want to reach out. I want to get anybody who's got any input on like what we could use like literally to represent darkness. I'm all
What about
ears.
dying tree branches?
Yeah, we kind of tried to do the viney, thorny thing.
Anything with too much details, because when
Right.
you trick it down, you just lose it all.
For reference,
just-
we're trying to make them like that big. So,
Yeah.
you know,
A tree branch that angles off to the right and one that goes to the left. Boom.
it's going to look like a giant
Thorns in it.
Y or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Fun to stay in Y.
True. But yeah, this is the progress we made on these. I'm actually really excited because as it stands right now, like we're making waves on these pips and getting a lot of the like design stuff done. I say we. Cathy's been doing so much great work, doing things that. Why?
Yeah,
That's the third time in one stream.
New stream record.
It's been 30 minutes.
Let's go.
AJ won't have any issue doing that on the YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Woo! God, I love that error message.
Yeah, Jake says he really likes the fire. I agree. I mean, these are the three best ones that I've like.
And you know what?
Can even
All
imagine.
3 of those started as rectangles.
They did.
Listen, I'm just glad that Ken is finally giving Cathy full credit. Because he'd be like, I've been working on this, and we all know it's been Cathy the whole time.
You should have heard it over my shoulder this morning. You see the ratio of like the top curve compared to the middle curve, the ratio to the bottom? Like you need to make the ratio and the perpendicular like perpendicular to the negative space. Like,
Did you use 4 for pi or 3.14? Like, I mean, that makes sense.
Cathy, when Cathy was working without me, she rounded up and just used like 600 for pi. She was just like, YOLO. All right. Last topic of the night. Last week, what did we have? Do we have like 2 or 3 sketches?
we had 3 sketches.
Okay.
for Cardback.
We had 3 sketches for Cardback. Rainy Days. Same artist that did our essences, which again everybody has loved so far. They look amazing. Doubled down. Got her back online to try to do a Cardback. We looked at a couple sketches last week.
Yes.
And she kind of solidified them a little bit, rounded them out, and has given us a couple of mock-ups. She actually gave us like, was it 13 or something? It's like 13 mock-ups originally.
Cardbacks?
She gave like 13 mock-ups, but they
crap.
were minor adjustments. Most of them were very minor adjustments. So we picked 3 right here, Cathy? Yeah, we picked 3, and here are some options.
2.
That was fast.
Take a second to look at it.
I did 2.
Also, keep in
Oh, sorry,
mind-
number 4.
Keep in mind that there's going to be a flawed logo no matter what.
Yes, there's gonna be a logo of some variety. We have to figure that out still.
2.
Andrew says 8. Andrew, why do you like 8?
I'd love to hear it.
Also, I will say that I don't actually like any of these. I like a combination of these. My favorite
For the reason why he likes 8, I like 4.
colors. See, my favorite is 4, but
Yeah.
with the colors of 8 on 4, but I also don't want them to be like orb shape. I want the glow to like be the shape of the pit.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I like what Cathy just said.
Andrew's like, I'm easily convinced. I'll take that.
It's because it's the right answer.
I do like this.
Person.
I do like the non-color.
Oh, that's,
the border better.
Who just came in?
Lisper?
Oh, okay. That's
Why don't you know everyone's
Scott
handles?
from
Oh,
Valdosta.
Scott,
Yeah.
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 We should go
Just
back
giving
to-
everybody's full names out into the
Yeah.
into the
Into the
abyss.
aether.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. I didn't mean to say
Yeah.
the last name, and by that I mean have Cathy say it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really like 4 for its like lack of colors because it like accentuates like the details.
I love. Oh my god.
Yes. 4.
I don't even know
Can we
what
go
it
for
is. I don't even know
5?
what it is.
Yeah.
It never happens unless I'm streaming. I really like 4, and I think it is because of the hollowness of the symbols, like the
Yes.
way that they're not really filled in at all.
Yes.
Is I think what makes it look best, and I'm a
It
little
makes it
bit
feel
worried
flawed.
that if you put that glow on them, like even like Cathy's saying, if
You'll
you do
lose
it,
the
if you do it
hollowness.
in a way to surround it and make it look like the elements themselves are glowing out from the art, I feel like you're gonna end up losing some of that. I feel like the negative space is so valuable that when you start cramming extra colors in there. What's the context here, Spencer? So these are
The back of the card.
the back of the card. I think you might be asking a little bit deeper for that. So the game is based in a 6 elemental type scenario where you've got dark, light, fire, water, air, and earth are kind of the 6 sort of old school sort of elemental religious sort of, theological things that each of these tribes kind of pay homage to. So we're trying to represent those 6 sort of like factions on the back of the card. You can kind of see on the rightmost option, you've got like purple, yellow, red, blue, gray, and green. Those are the colors that we've chosen to kind of represent those 6 different options. We got a lot of chat going on here. So Path of Exile vibes on 4. Yeah, I could see that. That is not a. This does look like it could be like the outline of like the map page in PoE. I could see that.
That's kind of a reason why I liked it too. It just it gives me a little bit more of fantasy vibes because of all the little lines.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back on 4 with no color.
Also, by
The
the
longer
way,
I look at this, I don't like Cathy's
you'll notice
idea.
that 4 has like splotches to the background,
Mhm.
whereas 2 is solid black. She gave us all combinations. So she gave us 2 with a splotchy background. She gave us 2 with a splotchy background with the colors. She gave us 4 with black background, but she didn't give us 4 with the colors, which is really annoying.
Yeah, that might be one of the combinations we would have liked to have seen, but it's okay.
And then like 8, the art, the drawings have like a dark outline, and then 2 it has like a red outline. So she's given us one that was like just the red outline without being filled in. So
Just now realizing each shape is a color. Yeah.
Yeah. So like in the top left corner,
God.
like vines from darkness, and then going down, it's got the flames for fire, and then the bottom left corner is the air like whiskey, and then the green vines are in the bottom right corner, and then the water's in the middle on the right, and then like a light burst is on the top right, and then Spencer with the tank. So funny.
So many memes.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely think that we've got a like. Here's what
I like-
here's what I'll say about number 2.
Yeah,
The color palette, like when I see it, I'm like, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
it does feel like
That red and yellow feels so similar to the back coloring.
every Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. And I do want to steer a little bit away from that. I also think that it's a little less like fantastic or fantasy feeling than either of the other two. I think both of the other two do a better job of being a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner. They speak to me on like a high fantasy level more so than just like arbitrary card game junk, which is kind of what I see on the leftmost one, number 2.
All right, let me tell you why it's number 4 with perfect reasoning.
Okay.
1, there's no coloring to it, so it's flawed.
Oh.
It's not perfect.
Jesus.
2, the splotchy background, not a perfect background. Flawed. Then we put the flawed logo on it, wraps it all together. The perfect flawed. background.
Flawed cubed, and a cube is made out of what? Rectangles.
And rectangles are flawed.
And there are
because they wanna be
6
squares.
rectangles
Oh my God.
for the 6.
I'm
Okay.
leaving.
Yes.
I would like to see 4 with the glow of the colors.
Illuminati confirmed.
But I would
Yep.
not be opposed to it being 4 with the colors either.
I think if you put the colors on 4, I think it's gonna take away from what makes 4 great, and that's showing off those accent
Yeah.
lines and like perfectly of like each individual thing on the card. I think with the glow, I think Ken hit the nail on the head with it. You're gonna lose some of the cool parts of it, of like seeing each one of those lines down in air, each one of those extra lines in fire. You kind of lose the lines even on 8. Like if you look at 8, you lose some of those lines on light.
Yeah. Because it is realistically like the same art, but because with number 8, she's got the individual sections filled in to like make them kind of withstand the color a little bit better.
You kind of lose.
Yeah, it looks a little less detailed, a little less intricate, and I don't know. I'm not opposed to talking to the artist. I'm going to be sending her a message tomorrow and getting some doing a little bit of an exchange of ideas, some feedback with her, and I'm not opposed to seeing number 4 with some coloration like what Cathy said. I'm more than happy. If I can get her to mock that up for me, and it's not a major issue to see how that would look. Yeah, let's see it. Let's take a look. But I'm cautious about the outcome. I think that I'm going to lean towards no color.
And the good thing is, if you don't even like the color, like we'll just go with 4. It's not like she's gonna make
Right,
something
right,
more
yeah,
color.
yeah.
Good. We just want to see something make
I mean, she probably just has it overlaid somewhere, and she can just like minimize 8's border, pop up 4's, and go.
Griffin the Fourth, the People's Elbow. Yeah, the shapes, the hollow background, the metallic color. It's in italics. Chef's kiss, perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if you want to end the stream, but I think we should show list for the other artwork. If you want to go back while
Yeah, let me go ahead and close down the recording real quick. And then we can just real quick, like, thumb back through those. Just as a final note, thanks again, obviously, to my hosts for being here, co-hosts, Cathy and AJ. Thank you so much to the patrons. I have to say this every freaking time because I cannot believe the support that we're getting. All of this is completely and entirely made possible because people believe in this and have put their money where the mouth is, have given it to me and let me manage it and come up with these arts and, this graphic design. And I'm saving money everywhere I can. That's why we got Cathy here doing a ton of work. I'm going to give her all her credit because she's been helping out so much, especially now that she's almost done with school.
I believe in big brain.
I mean, thank you. I really do mean it.
No.
But AJ, we'll talk about that later. But we're going to go ahead and sign off on the recording, at least for now, and we'll have a couple more little bit tidbits for those of us who are still hanging out. But again, thank you everybody for being here, and we'll do this again real soon next week.